BD Prof, welcome to this video. We want to do our weekly forecast for these pairs. We'll do for DXY, and then we do for GU and EU, gold, and lastly USDJPY. Now for DXY, if I start with the monthly, what you notice here is that we're still on a very strong downtrend. Okay, allow me to draw. So we've been on downtrend all this time, and our last trailing stop was this point, and we've not activated any new trailing stops going below. So I'm expecting that on the monthly this would be our most probable targets, because we are still bearish on the monthly, and if we begin to continue going bearish, then I'll be looking at these previous monthly lows, these swing points, to be my targets going low. Now let's switch to the weekly time frame and see what the weekly has for us. Now if you look at the weekly, you will notice that the last time price was bearish, and I'm looking for a moment where we flipped bullish. Yes, at this point you can notice that at this point price swept, and finally we had this point where price activated bullish price action on the weekly. So we are already bullish on the weekly, and on the weekly time frame we are looking at these trailing stops. We are looking at this last trailing stop here, which, looking at how the weekly candle closed on Friday, did it invalidate? Let me just mark this level 98, 91. Yeah. So when you look at this level, it was invalidated. That means now our bias is bearish. That's aligning with the monthly bias. So for our DXY, I'm looking at this level as our trailing stop, and then I'm looking at this point as our first target, because this was a trailing stop, and then down towards the monthly swing points. So let's switch to the daily and just align our bias to see if we are having a PD race that could support price to continue lower. Now on the daily, you notice we were bullish here, then we switched bearish, then we switched bullish again, and then we had this last trailing stop which was invalidated at this point. And on the daily too, we are bearish on the daily. So you notice that these two levels are our activation levels. So on DXY, I'm expecting that price will continue going low, and this daily swing points will be activation levels. So this is what is my anticipation. If price reacts from this daily swing point, then I'll be expecting more price action going low. And if price reacts on the other upper side of the daily swing point, then I'll be looking for price expansion on DXY. So this now will give us a perspective on GBPUSD and EURUSD. GBPUSD. And looking at GBPUSD, if we can do a quick top-down analysis quickly from the monthly, then you notice that we've been bullish, and our last trading stop was actually this point. So looking at GU from the monthly, we just swept the liquidity and closed within. So I'm still anticipating bullish price action, and then the previous monthly high will be our target, and these other swing points to be our target. Now, so on the monthly we are bullish. On the weekly, you notice something on the weekly. Now, we were already bearish on the weekly. We had this point as our last trading stop. And right now, as you look at the weekly, we are price is expanding towards most preferably this weekly trailing stop. So let's switch to the daily. Now, our target for the weekly are that trailing stop and this previous candle low. These two are our targets. Now, when we go to the daily, you will notice that our price action on the daily is quite bullish. It's quite bullish. So I'm still anticipating a bullish price action for GU. Most preferably if it reacts on this daily swing point, then I'll be expecting that price would continue higher to the weekly and then consequently the previous monthly high. So this, because these two pairs are correlated, when you look at the EU on the weekly, what will you notice on the EU? Let me just use O under. So on the weekly, you'll notice that we were bearish and we had this swing point, which was our target for last week. And you see price came to it and swept and just closed within the range. So I'm still bearish on the weekly. This could be my first target and the previous candle low. And also if we have a break above this point, then I would be looking for this trailing stop level to be taken next. So going to the daily, I like marking my chart with the different colors just to give it a meaning. For example, weekly I do a black color, then on the daily I do green color, just to be able to distinguish these lines. Sometimes your lines in the chart can be a lot more. So looking at the daily, you see we are already bullish, and I'm expecting price to react from this daily swing point. And if price gives us a bullish reaction here, then I will be looking to continue higher from that point. And if price invalidates our trading stop, this is a daily trading stop, then if it invalidates, then we'll be looking for sales there. But I'm more into longs for EURUSD, just as GBPUSD. So lastly is USDJPY, then we do gold. Now USDJPY monthly, let me just use Oanda also. Okay. Now on the monthly, you will notice that USDJPY is actually bullish, very strongly bullish. So part of our target is this monthly trailing stop, and of course the previous monthly high. So we could wait for price to take the previous monthly high and then we go for this trading stop. Then weekly, you notice that on the weekly we are also bullish. This is our weekly trading stop. And this is also our weekly target, the previous weekly high. Now we go to the daily. Now when the moment the bias aligns, then you want to stay with the bias. Now looking at the daily, this was our daily trading stop. And which was already invalidated at this point. And you notice that we've been bearish on the daily for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So I have two activation levels for the daily. We're already bearish on the daily. This will be our first activation level if we are continuing bearish. And this point, which is nearly our weekly point, is our last daily trading stop level, would also be my activation point for me to switch my bias to bullish. So I'll be looking for on these two levels, this daily level to be activated for me to be bullish, and for this daily level to be activated for me to be bearish. But actually I'm neutral for now, but if price tends to be bullish, it will have already aligned to higher time frame bias, which is monthly and weekly, which are both of them bullish. So lastly, we do gold. So for gold, looking at Oanda, you will notice that for gold we are bullish actually from the monthly time frame. We've been bullish, and I'm expecting that this month, closing the year, we might get back to this all-time high. This all-time high level, we could look forward for this level to be taken out. So switching to the weekly, we are also been bullish on the weekly time frame. Remember, this last trading stop level was not taken out from our weekly level. So we've been bullish all along. So this last trading stop level was our weekly, which is still holding price bullish. So I could my first target would be previous weekly high, and then ultimately we go for the monthly level. So switching to the daily, I want to see what the daily is doing. And looking at the daily, the price action still holds bullish. Our daily bullish trailing stop has not yet been mitigated or deactivated. So I'll be looking at these two levels for activations. Of course, we can expect Monday consolidation, and then Tuesday now we spike. So, or Monday an inside bar, or Monday bearish candle, but it didn't invalidate our daily trailing stop. And then on Tuesday, we're expecting an expansion all the way. Or we start Monday if we just expanded all the way. So I'm bullish on gold. I'm expecting that price will react on this daily level, and then we continue higher. Otherwise, if we are to be bearish, then I should see price reacting from this daily level, and then we sell it all the way down there. So this week we're expecting good momentum. Looking at the calendar for this week, you see a lot of news and high impact news this week. So I'm looking at more volatility on the market, and I'll be trading all the days from Monday. Though we have an Euro bank, of course, we have USD pairs trading, so no problem. So otherwise, this is BD Prof signing out.